Sometimes it's good to just dance.
Welcome to the Good Stuff Family Podcast. I'm Dawn Kendrick, and I am so glad you're here. These are stories from the perspective of a news reporter on a next-level assignment. Everyone has a story. Stories of hope, resilience, and how we believe God weaves people, relationships, opportunities, all of it for good. For many of us, faith leads our steps, others not so much. But that is what makes this growing Good Stuff family great. We know the journey is better together. Welcome to the family.
Got a suggestion. Sometimes it's good to just dance. Come along.
Welcome to the best part of waking up.
Get a little bit closer.
Oh, welcome. I'm
Try
so
that again.
relaxed. It's the fire. Welcome to the best part of waking up
After dark.
after dark.
After
if you
dark.
haven't noticed,
That's right.
we're in Chagrin Falls because this is a previously recorded edition because it's a beautiful evening on Thursday evening in Chagrin Falls, and the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival is underway, and so we have a rare opportunity to be in person.
Dawn's here, so why not? We got to get together.
Back in the CLE.
That's
yeah.
right.
This documentary film festival it's its 16th year, and it's classic The Good Stuff. And I said, we got to go from here. And I'm going to get into a little bit of the background of it and stuff. But first, I think we're missing Pastor Charles today. But I think it's hilarious what you were telling me ahead of time. Like you feel like he's still with you sometimes, like even in the car.
Right. So if you haven't tried it already, if you haven't tried it out, Connections is his podcast.
Yep.
And he is just amazing listening to that. So I was on my way to my doctor's appointment this morning, and I'm listening to his most recent episodes because it was a 2-part series. And I had the GPS set up with my directions. And I wish somebody would have been in the car with me because I was dying laughing because every time he would say, in Galatians, it says, turn right in 500 feet. And my Siri would jump it. Yeah, it was awesome. My favorite part was when he was like, remember that when we find God and it says, you've reached your destination. So I was like, yeah, I guess that's true in more ways than one.
And so it's like he's with us anyway.
All the time. Yeah.
And just today I was talking about, he calls our bodies earth suits. We were talking in a deep conversation about, what it's all about. And so Pastor Charles, we feel like you're still here in spirit with us always, but if you're from Cleveland, maybe you have heard of the
just making a mess.
Did you spill your coffee?
No, I'm good.
He's a rebel having
That
coffee
would be a
this late.
cardinal sin.
I'm like, I'm going to just have hot chocolate for now because this girl needs to sleep. I drove from St. Louis a couple of days ago and it's been nonstop, like overcommitted, But this is why, because I want it to be part of this. And so Marianne Ponce is one of my favorite people in all of the world because she is a mama of David Ponce, who was a film director, young, and he was in the middle of producing a documentary. He was diagnosed with leukemia and ended up passing away before it was produced. So his friends kind of rallied to produce it as well. And he was in, can we roll that video that I showed of that screen scroll? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Jory, you want to say hi? This is our new friend, Jory. Make new friends, but keep the old. Look at her. Yeah. She's beautiful and she's kind. And she's
keeping us
the
caffeinated.
cough for you.
Yeah.
And the hot chocolate. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because we're at 17 River too. We want to give a shout out. What a beautiful, that's why we wanted to keep the ambiance. Beautiful restaurant.
It's gorgeous.
It really is. And I love Chagrin for the ambiance and the people that live here, but also this week specifically, again, because Marianne Ponce, she decided, okay, so when David passed away, if you want to roll, that has like a little bit of history. Yeah. Let's see. So he was producing a documentary actually, and it says the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival is dedicated to educating audiences and empowering talented filmmakers to tell their stories. The festival is a 5-day celebration of the art of a documentary film at venues in and around the Century Village of Chagrin Falls, Ohio. This inspiring event draws audiences from all over Northeast Ohio, the U.S., and the world, Rich, to experience documentary films and the compelling art and culture they highlight. And so if you want to talk about the good stuff, this is classic the good stuff out of the bad, because David Ponce was producing a documentary when he was diagnosed with leukemia and ended up passing away before it was finished. So his friends finished it for him, and Marianne Ponce said, you know what, in his memory, we're going to create a film festival in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, that will highlight young directors and their productions, and it's going to be David's legacy. Beautiful. And the husband, I think she tells the story, her husband Ed said, yeah, do we even own a projector? She goes, no, I'm pretty sure we don't, but we'll figure it out. But here's what it says, that the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival is produced annually by Fevered Dreams Productions. That's David's production company. It was originally founded by Chagrin Falls High School alumni and filmmaker David Ponce as his film production company. David was inspired to tell the story of Sparrow Village, an AIDS orphanage in Johannesburg, South Africa, in a documentary entitled The Lost Sparrows of Roodepoort. Even as he faced his own battle with leukemia, David wrote, now how about this quote? This is classic, the good stuff. Nothing is as important to me as producing a work that is true to Sparrow and showing those who have not visited just what the human spirit is capable of when faced with something immensely dark and frightening.
Wow.
So this is why when these talented producers and film directors come to Chagrin, it's a coveted spot to be in the film festival. You know, this is what they're coming into. They're stepping into legacy.
It's a great festival. If you've never come to Chagrin, it's an amazing opportunity to see some amazing talent.
Yeah.
Right. This is actually where I saw Dr. Lynette's
You
documentary
said that.
for the first time.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. It
On
was
autism, for people who listen, they know what you're talking about. But tell a little bit about it. It was.
It's called My Hiccups Are Gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So well
My
done.
Hiccups Are Gone. You can find the trailer on YouTube, and John Schaefer was the director who reached out to Lynette, and he followed her around for several weeks while she was documenting her journey with two twins coming from Texas who had autism.
Yes, we've showed clips of it.
Yeah.
And these kids, they were nonverbal. They
Yeah.
didn't eat. They didn't use the bathroom on their own, and they did after they went through the success approach.
It's amazing. So yeah, this is where I got to see that film for the first time. I actually got to meet John Schaefer, and the twins were up from Texas.
Yes.
So we got to meet the family as well. So what a great time.
And that they have some panels. I'll be moderating some on Saturday. Again, you'll be watching this Friday morning. It's pre-recorded, but
That's right.
you'll have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we can put the link in the show notes. But it's the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival. You'll have plenty of opportunity to see good films. But here, when we were talking about David, here he is.
Oh yes.
Right, young. Too young. And it's like we say often, we have so many questions. Really, God, really? But this is legacy here that we're sitting in the midst of right now in this city that is so vibrant. And here's his mama, Marianne and Ed Ponce. And I do believe, honestly, I think they have to turn people away because it is such a coveted spot to be in. And they have shorts and here it is. That's why we did this. Took this last night when we came. My friend Mary Ellen and I came and watched a couple shorts. But I thought maybe that'd be a cool thing to talk about today. We've talked about it a lot on this podcast, but about legacy, like beyond our last breath. What is it? What is it that we're doing with purpose? You know, and it's the question, a good question to ask, and keep reminding ourselves, because you can. It's really as simple as seeing the good in others and being the good for them. And I don't know.
Pastor Charles told us last week, I kind of questioned that a little bit about myself and the things that I've tried to do and promote. And it keeps you humble to think about things like that,
right?
Just to make sure you're doing it for all the right reasons. But as Pastor Charles reminded us, that it doesn't really matter as long as we're making connections and we're doing the good that we can for others while we're here. That's what's important.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, one of the best documentaries I ever saw came from here. It was a few years ago.
Wow.
Called Theirs is the Kingdom. We talked about it. I can put a link to the interview we did with the director there too. But you walk away and for having seen these films here, these documentaries, it causes you to ask yourself too, like how can we be a part of the change, the good stuff? I mean, I really hate to be cliche, but the good. This is what the Ponces have done. They've made the good stuff out of unthinkable grief.
Yeah.
And for anyone listening who's lost a child, she makes a good point. She doesn't like to say that he lives on. He doesn't live on. He's gone. They're forever missing him.
Mhm.
But his legacy does, and the opportunity that these filmmakers get when they come here to this city that has its little quaint little city tucked away east of Cleveland, and again, we're at 17 River, which is a perfect example of it, with a little fire ambiance. And
yeah, we got the little fireplace, we got the falls over to the left of us
and
here.
the restaurant, people come pack all the restaurants when they're here for those films.
Yeah.
But so I was thinking, the question for the people who are listening then, so if, like David Ponce did not get tomorrow, what is it that is burning in your heart? What is a calling beyond even a career? What is it? And for me, it's storytelling. And I was in Cleveland. Because I'm in Cleveland, I was able to go to the Live to Lead event today as well, which it's a John Maxwell thing my friend Kelly Price puts on. And that's the whole question. All of these speakers that they have had obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. And they really called us out and said, what are you doing what have you done that's been successful? What have you done that has failed? And what do you need to change?
Yeah.
So I'm posing that to our listeners as well. Like,
Absolutely.
what's the next step, right? You could relate.
Absolutely. I've often talked about my purpose and what I do with education. And I find it to be, it's not so much about the stuff that I'm teaching. It's making connections. I want them to help make connections to their learning, make connections to the next step, make connections with people. And that's, I always say, education is more about the business of connections.
Mm-hmm. Believe it. And even walking the streets yesterday, it was so crowded here. And we ran into Lori Vick. Remember her?
Oh, yeah.
Beloved news anchor here. And I wouldn't even know Marianne Ponce if it wasn't for her years ago when I was a reporter saying, you got to do a story. And again, some people, you fall in love with their mojo and their energy and their spirit, and your life's going to be better staying friends with them.
Absolutely.
And keeping them close. So I present that as well to anybody listening. They said at the Live to Lead conference today, like, who are your 5 closest people? Because they can end up making or breaking you. Who are you choosing as your inner circle? That's going to inspire you to continue doing what you're called to. And I'm going to go home and read through my notes tonight. This day's been nonstop, but literally I'm like, God, what are you calling? What's the calling to turn your ear to that instead of what I think I'm supposed to be doing?
Right.
What is the calling? And this is kind of what you teach your kids too.
Yeah. I mean, to embrace your life of service, right? So it's a life of service, regardless of how you spin it. You don't have to be religious. You don't have to be a teacher. You don't have to be anything but yourself. But as long as you lead with purpose,
yes,
that leads you to service to others. Because we're a race that doesn't really take care of one another a whole lot. That's kind of a secondary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about that before too. Just making sure that we change that perception. And the way to do that, and I think we've talked about this too, is leaving the place better than we found it.
Right. And that Live to Lead seminar today is about, for leaders who are leading companies and stuff, about really appreciating the people who are working for you, how to lift them up, and to get out of what you think is all, this should be this way, and learn what is it that they're bringing, to the table. I think that serves us all well to think that way in life in general, out of our own heads, what we expect of other people, expectations low, acceptance high. And I feel like when you come to a week like this at Chagrin Falls, it gives you an opportunity through these films to broaden that whole. They're all about working together and making the place a better place. Yeah,
and I often tell people I don't have people that work for me. I don't work for anyone. What I do is I work with people. Because I think that collaborative
seems simple,
but just changing that terminology changes the whole focus.
Yes.
Right. I work with some amazing people now who it's not about title. It's about how we bring the best of us together in this team. And it's so synergistic. Is the best way to put it.
Yes. And so if you live in Cleveland, or like I said, people come from around the world, you still have time I'm going to see if I
Oh,
can
yeah.
give, where is this? Chagrin. Yeah. Chagrinfilmfest.org. Chagrinfilmfest.org is how you can find all the movies left to see. I'm going to try and check some out tomorrow, Friday, while I'm still in town. I'll be moderating some panels on Saturday, and then there are some on Sunday as well. And check out 17 River because Joby was so nice. Nice.
Just
He
amazing.
said, yeah, he's like, sure, come on. And actually, I'm getting a little warm right now.
We have two patio heaters above us.
All these layers.
And I told him, he's like, is this going to be okay? Or going to be too cold? I'm like, no, this is perfect. As a matter of fact, I'm taking off my coat.
I'm a little warm.
Yeah.
I'm done. I had all this hot chocolate. Oh my God. So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to add, Rich?
You know, we've been talking about downloads. I think that's kind of been our theme so far, is our downloads.
Yes.
And it's interesting that you chose this place. I purposely didn't tell Dawn any of this today, but what struck me from Mass this past weekend, and I always try to pull something out for myself, and it's not always the homily, it's not always the readings, it's just some of the words that we use when we're praying.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, it was all about the Eucharist.
Mm-hmm.
And let's start with how we come to the table of Christ, right? And at that Last Supper, he came, but what were the key words when he, at the first Eucharist, he broke it and then gave it to them? So we come broken.
Wow.
And then what did he do? What did he do with the wine? He didn't crush it, he didn't do anything. It says he blessed it.
Mm-hmm.
So we come broken and blessed.
That was your download.
Broken and blessed.
Stuff.
Yeah. And then the words came back to me when we talk about this at Mass, where it says in him, through him, or with him, in him, through him.
Through him, with him, in him.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, how powerful is that?
Yeah.
That we do all things through him, with him, and in him.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful way to kind of wrap up the Eucharist, because we come broken and blessed.
Yes.
He gave it to everyone to share.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, and then here we are saying that because of doing this through God is how we're able to do all of these things.
Amen. And the best part of these stories, both at the Live to Lead conference and the documentaries, are people who have worked through brokenness.
Right.
And have, I mean, nobody gets up and says, hi, life's been great, let's eat, right? No,
right.
The stories that we want to hear are those kind. So are you going through it right now? We're here to say that there is hope. You keep taking the next best step.
Yeah.
Ask Mary Ann Ponce how she can turn such a tragedy into such a legacy. It's happening. It's happening in Chagrin, and I feel so blessed to be able to be here and back in Cleveland.
It's so cool when we can get together and do these lives, and there are many times where Don's saying, "I'm coming in." I'm like, "Good. What are we doing?"
No, dude, I was like, I don't know, Rich. He worked all day. I was at the conference, but I said, how do we pass on that? And I'm proud of us. Like, so maybe that speaks to you too. What is it that you're like? Oh, look, live for the moment.
Live for the moment.
Live as if, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, like, you know, if today is a gift and tomorrow's not guaranteed.
That's right.
Ask David Ponce.
I mean, I went the whole day without coffee. I'm not even kidding. That's how busy the day was. Like, I didn't even get to my office until almost 1 o'clock today.
Right.
That was that busy. And then I was like, oh, I guess I'll just have lunch. But then when I got here, I was like, coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee.
And Joby keeps bringing it. God bless her.
Yeah.
And so,
awesome.
So what are you grateful for today? We're grateful for a beautiful evening in Chagrin Falls. Beautiful Joby, who's been waiting on, or Joby and
Jory
and Joby. Yeah.
And then at the 17 River Grill, we have a great picture there.
Yeah, thanks for pulling that up.
Amazing hosts. The light that just came from them as they were walking in, when I walked in, all this equipment, most people would be like, oh, what's going on? But he was like, no, let's do this.
Super friendly.
Yeah.
And I found that to be true. Even my friends who live in Chagrin, it's a different pace and it's a different vibe that you want to be part of. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can be this week.
That ambient noise you're hearing, and you may not hear it by tomorrow, but it's the falls.
So peaceful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if they mind if we take a nap here.
Well, we got these comfortable couches behind us. I don't see why not. We'll have some food. We'll take a nap. You know, like being in your own living room, but outside.
They came and they never left. We have silk waters in Chagrin. All right. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us. And
were you going to put this in?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is good. Tell how you found this.
So I forget. I was scrolling through something, and we've been talking about all these downloads, and I just thought this was awesome because we just finished wrapping up the last episode, and I was like, this is amazing because he's moving in this month, he's cleaning house, and we're gonna clean it all out.
Yep.
Winter's about to come in and just make everything look so dark, and then we'll have that spring waiting for us right around the corner to make it light again. But October is going to be a month that God did it.
God did it. And I love that song. God did it. You know that song?
Yeah.
I don't know that I can sing anything beyond it, but that reminds me of it.
Pastor Charles will hear it. He would have sung
He would have sung it. Yeah, he would have been, of course. Anyway, so thanks for joining us. And we'll say it every podcast. It's not hard to do. See the good in others. Be the good for them. On your mark, get set.
Let's go.
Sometimes it's good to just dance.
You've been listening to Don Kendrick's The Good Stuff Family Podcast. If you found inspiration here, would you click subscribe, follow, share as we grow our Good Stuff family tree? Check out thegoodstufffamily.com for links to all our social media platforms and for how you or your business could sponsor a story. The Good Stuff Family, reaching and touching hearts around the world by weaving families together one story at a time. On your mark, get set, let's go.
Well, I got a suggestion. Sometimes it's good, so come along.